There are no skins submitted to the Rust Workshop this past weekend. Facepunch asked the skin creators to take a week off because we have complete the sets for the second week of June 2026. So let me just get that across to you again. The second Rust store for June 2026 is supposed to be complete the sets, whereas this week, the first Rust store we see, the June Forcewipe Rust store, is still expected to be a regular Rust store. We still might see some super late picks potentially being accepted. I mean, look at the current Rust store we had, the last Rust store for May 2026. But yeah, if you're wondering, well, what's for this week then? It'll most likely consist of the skins we saw being submitted over the past 2 weekends, basically the previous 2 Rust Workshop skin checks videos and collections. So yeah. Now do not forget, the brand new skinnable is the Auto Turret. We should be expecting the first ever Auto Turret skin being accepted this week, the first Rust store for June 2026. And also don't forget, the focus title of the month is the Bolt Action Rifle. So, alright, cool. But yeah, I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird. I just needed to get that across because some people are getting confused. Some people thought the first Rust store for June was going to be complete the sets. It's not, it's the second. Again, we still might see some super late picks. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. So yep, just to reiterate, we've complete the sets just around the corner. Facepunch asked the skin creators to take a week off. So yeah, what's Hedge going to do? Well, we've got a plan. I'm sure you're fully well aware. I've made a big fuss about this collection right here. I did do another update video recently, just reiterating. Now you can look at my collection right here, which is linked in the description of the video, so you can go look at this right now if you so wish. I have over 240 skins listed, but each of these skins are more like a representative of their collection rather than like, here's a potential skin that could be accepted. Like case in point, let's go ahead and take a look at, oh, I don't know, Neon Vibes. There you are, that's a perfectly fine looking skin. Whilst the large box is a very nice looking skin, what you should do is look at the actual collection that's provided here. And you'll see there's actually a lot of Neon Vibe skins that are submitted previously. All of these are perfectly fine, good looking candidates as well. Maybe we'll see a barbecue instead. What about the wooden double door? Do you get the point? So whilst the large box is perfectly fine in itself, do take a look at the other skins that were provided. So, alright, cool. So yes, lots and lots and lots of interesting skins that could be accepted, but which ones do you think could be accepted? What's on your personal wish list? Feel free to comment below, because with what we have here, there's a lot of interesting designs, there's a lot of interesting collections. So you might sit there and say, okay then, so we're going to do a special preview video with the complete the sets. But what did Hedge do to pick the skins to showcase today? Well, I didn't want to be biased, so what I did was I asked my own server, let's do a bingo, take a look at this collection, maybe do a little research yourself, and try and figure out what you personally think could potentially be accepted in the upcoming Complete the Sets Rust store. So here's a few of them that are submitted, as you can see here, a perfectly fine batch of skins. Now, they'll get quite a lot of points if they get a specific skin correct, but if they just get the right collection, they still get points. So, alright, cool. So, yep, thank you very much to all the people who contributed. We've got some very interesting suggestions, but I do believe I've got a decent pool of suggestions now that I've picked out, and we're going to go ahead and get a good look at them. So, I do want to reiterate this as well. We didn't actually have that many weapons and tool skins. I took the liberty to pick out some myself. Sorry to say, but we were lacking. Sorry. Right, so let's just go for a quick preview right now in regards to deployables, weapons and tools, and clothing armor. But please, please, please be aware, whilst these are perfectly fine looking candidates, nothing is guaranteed to be accepted. Alright? I know a lot of you right now, you're probably hoping and begging and wishing for some sort of camouflage skin. Come on now. I mean, wish harder. So let's just start off with looking at the deployable suggestions. So, first things first, do not be surprised at the possibility that we'll see an auto turret skin being accepted for complete the sets. We did see some interesting submissions that are collection continuations. You might have noticed we have 2 interesting potential space theme collection continuations. This, of course, is Space Station Auto Turret, and of course, we also happen to have like Space Base Auto Turret here. If I can recall, we also happen to have, yep, Forest Raiders right there. Neon Auto Turret, No Mercy. Don't be surprised at the possibility that we could potentially see one of them for complete the sets. Recent submissions still get accepted for complete the sets, and we might be saying that a few times today. So that looks nice, but unfortunately I can't bring that in game and showcase it. But if it were to be accepted, ooh. So when the June Forcewipe happens, I'll start doing some short videos showcasing auto turrets, and we'll question what potentially could be accepted. But just want to get the point across. Yep, brand new Skinnable. Yep, wouldn't surprise me if we see at least one of these for complete the sets. So moving on from there, yes, we have the Glowing Beauty bit. A very interesting, colourful design. It's got a couple choices on the bingo cards. So I thought, yep, go on then, we could go ahead and showcase that. We also happen to have Protector Collection. We saw quite a lot of door skins being accepted. What about Furnace? Yeah, alright, that's a perfectly fine looking approach. We also happen to have Neon Berries. You might recall, late last year, because the Naval update got delayed again, and we were fully expecting it for December Forcewipe, Face Punch had to turn around and do something completely different. All the skins that are submitted and ready and prepared for December Forcewipe were naval themed skins. So they went ahead and they did a surprise complete the sets for 2 weeks. And of course, we then had Christmas and whatnot after that. But you might recall we had the Neon Cards box finally being accepted. Well, that wasn't the last small box to be produced. Berries is. So could we finally see Neon Berries being accepted? And if we were, do you reckon that might sell quite nicely? But then again, we do have the berries fridge. So is it all that necessary? But then again, that's probably easier to store away. Off your opinion. Feel free to comment below. We also have Neon Bismuth. So yep, this got a few choices. A very interesting glow-in-the-dark design. You might recall the door skins from this collection. Oh, they look very nice. And they are quite pricey. And over to here, we have the Apotheosis War Armored Door. So again, a somewhat recent submission, but that's perfectly fine. We shouldn't be surprised at such a thing. So yeah, how many armored doors have we seen so far this year? There's like 3 in January and then nothing. Could we get a bit of resurgence? We shall see. So yeah, moving on from there, yep, Ultramarine. That's a perfectly fine choice. And a sheet metal double door. I thought it was an armored double door. Sorry about that. But yep, a perfectly fine amount of glow. But then over to here, an armored double door. So as I've already pointed out, the auto turret, an armored double door is probably not a bad shout. Looks perfectly fine. I really wouldn't be surprised if we see a No Mercy skin being accepted and complete the sets roster. Let's just get that across. So yep, in regards to deplorables, we got some very nice looking skins. But then for weapons and tools, Abyss Stone tools. I don't think we've had that many stone tools recently. Maybe we could just quickly go ahead and find that out. Out of curiosity, I'm genuinely curious right now. When was the last stone tools to be accepted? Ah, good old SMM. Breaking at the worst possible time. It has been a bit of a drought recently. So, we haven't had any marketable tools since, what? 2 years ago. Yeah, that's June 27. Wow. Well, I think that's probably a great shout then. So, yep, Abyss tools. What do you reckon? Specifically, Abyss stone tools. Now over to here, I did pick this out. I saw a few people picking Cold Hunter weapons, and I thought, you know what? It's been about, what? 4 months since we saw the old pirate revolver. I think this is probably a good shout now. Someone did pick this. I thought, yeah, okay, then I will actually just go ahead and showcase this, because I really wouldn't be surprised if we do see a revolver being accepted for complete the sets. It's like 3 revolvers a year, and it's been a while now since the previous one. And if you're a little bit worried, well, I can confirm to you, this one doesn't have as much transparency like what we saw with Old Pirate and Olympus Revolver. So, alright, perfectly fine shout. And over to here, Apocalypse Nomad. A bit of a random choice, but someone did pick it, and I thought, you know what, something like that kind of wouldn't surprise me. Yes, this was submitted just over 2 years ago, but listen, we should be expecting a lot of old skins, alright? Don't be surprised if we see something now submitted from like 8 years ago. Something like that. This is only 2 years old. And yeah, a lot of people would have gone absolutely wild about the transparency you see there, but we've gone further beyond that, haven't we? So something like that, that'd be welcome. Would it be to everyone's liking? Well, it's a more grounded approach with its design. I'm sure you remember all the previous Apocalypse Nomad weapon skins, so okay, fair shout. And over to here, yes, bolt action rifle skins. Now, with all due respect, I did just kind of go ahead and grab 3. And whilst this was mentioned twice, if I can recall, I did go ahead and grab 2 more. So I thought it would make sense considering it's the focused item of the month. It really wouldn't surprise me if we do see a bolt action rifle for complete the sets. And with what you have here are 3 perfectly fine choices. Well, which do you prefer? Maybe we need to hop in game and give them a good look. And now, clothing and armor. Probably the most wished for in regards to wish lists. Now, Black Ops backpack, that's probably a good shout. There is the other armor. Could we actually see a full set of this in the future? It'd be very welcome. But a backpack, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I think people would appreciate that. Reptile Hunter. Well, okay, so boots and gloves. I've had a few people mention the gloves. By default, I'm like, okay, then I had to go grab the boots as well. I guess that's kind of surprising. We got the tactical gloves. We never got the road sign gloves. And, of course, the boots. And, of course, people also suggesting the Reptile Hunter jacket. So, okay then. Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and showcase that. But there was also an interesting jacket that was submitted somewhat recently. That's probably a very good shout. I'm talking Naval Camo. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if something like this might be held back a bit, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we potentially see that for the June Forcewipe Rustor. We'll see how it goes. But that collection's been doing very well ever since it came out. It's been getting consecutive acceptances. So, do you think it's... Do you reckon that might get accepted? We've had 1 jacket skin so far this year, and that was the Knights Templar. This is like the complete opposite in terms of colours. And, yeah, I'd like to see it happen. I might be invested in Naval Camo. But I'm sure other people are as well. And we don't really get that many blue collections. So, alright, cool. Moving on from here. Alright, it begins. Okay, so now we're going to start seeing a lot of camouflage-esque skins. And yep, that is Thundergold. Thundergold hoodie and pants to be precise. There have been like 4 or 5 attempts for the hoodie and pants in this collection. And with what we have here, we've actually got 2 different options here. We have the white streak and the gold streak hoodie and pants. Now, I'll go ahead and showcase both. You'll get a good look at both. I'm sure you'll probably be able to figure out which one you happen to like more. But yeah, there's been a lot of hype behind this. A lot of people have just been itching and waiting. And skin creators did try. They've done 4, 5 different reiterations. I don't know what's stopping Face Punch. Like, they randomly accepted the tactical gloves, didn't they? We like that. That's good. We're happy about that. Could we get the hoodie and pants as well, please? Please. Anyway, that's fine. That's cool. Moving on. Quite a lot of people also pointed out that they thought the porcelain hoodie and pants were a good shout as well. So, whilst it's got quite a lot of blue from a distance, it does basically look as if it's just a white hoodie and pants. But we've always questioned this. Face Punch seems quite averse to accepting any sort of camouflage skins. Would something that is basically blue be allowed, or would they still be unsure about it because, again, from a distance, it looks all white? That'd be a question. So, yep, moving on from here. We also happen to have... I know people are asking for it. I made a joke about it in my recent Complete the Sets update video, but here we are. Look, it's Temple Collection. Wow. It's that collection people won't stop asking me about. Maybe you just don't deserve it. Maybe you're naughty this year, right? Yeah. Face Punch knows. Should have finished your homework. So yes, we have Temple Tier 2. I'll most likely just get full collections of these clothing and armor sets just to get the point across. So yeah, all right then. Temple, not too bad. A perfectly fine, good shout. I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate it. Would Face Punch allow it? Well, that's the question. Same thing here. Green camouflage. Before we even saw Temple, we saw flashbacks, more specifically the hoodie and pants. Now, there were attempts for the Tier 3 and the Tier 2, and there were extra attempts, but it just didn't happen, did it? Well, will this happen now? Or are we going to get like a random Tier 3 armor set from like 2017 that's all rusted and whatnot? Ta-da! I'm sorry to sound mean, but don't be surprised. In fact, look at the previous Complete the Sets from August 2025. So, moving on from here. Tire Tier 3. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we do see some black clothing armor, because, yeah, Face Punch loves to they just keep accepting black clothing armor every single year. You get hardly any green, light brown, or white clothing armor, but again, camouflage. Is black good for night time? Not really, because when it's pitch black, everything's dark, so... But still, that would complete the set, and I'm sure a lot of people would be very happy with that. So, alright, cool. This was picked out quite a lot on the bingo. I apologise. I'm very sorry. I guess it's a good representative because we still have the other deplorables as well that was submitted recently. So, you know, we had the electric furnace, we had the sheep meta double door, and there might be some very interesting skins being made right now for this collection. You're going to be pleasantly surprised. But this... You probably just sighed. Sorry, I'm sorry, but they picked it. It's not my choice. Anyway, let's now hop in game, give all these skins a good look, and you can tell me if you're enthusiastic, if you're motivated, or just like, eh. Okay, so here we are. Let's get started with deplorables. Let's move over to here and get a good look at these doors. So, Apotheosis of War. Quite an interesting surprise, what with the Armour double door being accepted earlier this year. Even though the collection technically started last year. That is a perfectly fine looking armoured door. What do you reckon? Could we see such carnage finally being accepted? Well, again. Finally, Hedge, didn't we just get a fridge? Well, I want more of that, so, alright, cool, whatever. So, yep, that's looking pretty sweet. Can we get a good look at this at night? The lights are nearby. Look at that shine. Around the back as well. Yeah, that's looking cool. But of course, how's it looking, Total Darkness? I can confirm to you that glows ever so eerily and scary. Where is he? He's on the island. It would be cool if you could stack the skulls like that and make like a pyramid. That would be a cool thing for Halloween. Anyway. Maybe that's a little bit too graphic, but yes, that is perfectly fine as a skin. So thoughts and opinions, please. Feel free to comment below. And then we have Ultramarine. Let's just go good look at the shine there. Would you refer to that as a mosaic design? I'd assume so. Yep. Ultramarine has been very successful over the past few years. But it's not like we see tons of these skins being accepted all the time now. If I could just showcase this at night time with the lights on nearby as well. Get a good look at the shine. And of course in Total Darkness. Yeah, that's a lovely faint blue of sorts. It's not like superimposing and in your face. From a distance, it's nice and mellow. I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate that. Are you one of them? And then we move over to here and then you'll realise, oh, hang on a minute. The No Mercy Armour double door doesn't glow in the dark. No. Doesn't need to. When it's night time and we have light nearby. Oh, it's so shiny. Look at that. Got the emblem there on the sides. Looking pretty cool. And then we look at it during the day. So, yeah. That's looking very nice. And whilst we're here, let's make sure we look on the other side as well, just to make sure if it's different. Doesn't appear to be. Oh, it is slightly different. Look at the top portion. And then we go around here. Okay, yeah, it's like slight changes and whatnot. But, yep, that'll be a welcome addition. I'm sure a lot of people would greatly appreciate that. And again, I really wouldn't be surprised if we see a No Mercy skin being accepted. With so many skins already, I mean, yeah. So, between those doors, which one happens to be your most favourite? If you don't happen to like these ones, what would you personally choose? Again, consider looking at the collection that I've linked in the description. Feel free to comment below what sort of doors you might like to see. Now, of course, we have the berries box. Get a good look at that. I mean, what you're expecting. It's pink. It says berries. That's pretty much it. That's all the neon collection needs to be. So, let's go ahead. Make it night time. Put the lights on nearby. This isn't super reflective, so okay, fair enough then. Let's go ahead and look at this in Total Darkness. And as you'll see, that is perfectly readable. No issues. Number 22. Will we actually complete the neon storage collection? Now, here's a good question to ask. If Duck the Skin Creator were to make another one, what would be needed? what would be needed? Feel free to comment below if you've got any ideas. And then we move over to here. Neon Bismuth. That's looking pretty shiny. And let's just kind of give this a little bit of help here, because I think we could make it a little bit more daytime. We could also move this around. Let's just see if we can get a good bit of shine. Oh, there we go. There we go. I wanted to get a good look like that. Now, if we could also do this, turn lights back on. You can see it's nice and shiny even during the day. But of course, nighttime as well. So, with the lights nearby, some nice reflection. So you can tell this is a very bright glow-in-the-dark large box. Look at that. So then we rise. Touch of darkness, please. Boom. What are your thoughts? Do you like what you see? Honestly, I would like to see the Neon Bismuth collection get a nice return. I'm sure we could see some very nice skins. You know what? Barbecue would be pretty sweet. Electric furnace would be pretty cool. We do tend to see skin creators suddenly, like, feeling motivated to return to their collections if they get a skin accepted after complete the sets. That does tend to happen. Doesn't always lead to success, but it'll be nice to see. Now, what was it? Beauty Industry? Skin Creator had a name, and Face Punch changed it to a different name, if you can remember. It's 2 cat girls in a bed. I'm sure you can show restraint, right? Well, the double door cost like $10+ now, so... Anyway. So, yes, we have a glow-in-the-dark bed. There's love hearts. I'm sure you love sleeping. So, let's go ahead and look at this at night time. We've got the lights on nearby. You can see that panel's somewhat reflective. Yep. And then, of course, in total darkness, a very bright, glow-in-the-dark bed. Is that this type of bed that you need in your life? Be honest. Yep, glows on all sides. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And then we move over to here. The Protector Furnace. So if this, of course, isn't turned on, this is. We don't have the lights on nearby. You can see it's emitting its own light. And it is making itself nice and reflective. Now, if I could also just turn the lights on now. As you'll see, wow, that is, that's shiny. That is very shiny. But we have seen that with the Protector doors. You might recall recently we did see the Armour double door. That sold nicely, and that was very shiny when lights are on at night time. So, yeah, okay, not too hard to notice. With the Protector skins, or rather, more specifically with the doors, we had transparency. We had like a hole like that, but that isn't actually transparent, is it? No. So it just gives off the image, like the illusion. But yeah, that's one little consistent feature we've seen. It's just in this particular design that isn't actually transparent. And then, of course, daytime. Let's move the sun around. Let's just make it a little bit brighter. There we go. Look at that. So, out of those deplorables, if you were to pick at least one, what would you choose? And again, you can look at that collection yourself. You could do a little research yourself. Perhaps you'd prefer to pick something else out. In regards to deplorables, what collection would you like to see more from? What specific skin would you like to see? Feel free to comment below. And now, let's move on to weapons and tools. Now it's time for the weapons and the tools. And of course, there's the Abyss Stone Hatchet. A perfectly fine looking, scary 2 feet design. That is to be expected. It is an Abyss skin after all. Get a good look at that. And of course, let's get a look at it here. Yep. Certainly chops good. Has a look at night time. Let's give that a good look. Doesn't glow in the dark, as you can see. Does have a faint bit of like night light. I can kind of see the teeth, but yeah, I'm sure people would appreciate. We've already made the point that we haven't really seen any marketable stone tools in quite some time, so yeah, I'm sure people would be appreciating. And of course, we also happen to have the stone pickaxe. Quite shiny, both of them. Chops good. Nighttime. Give that another inspection. Yeah, it's vaguely visible, but it's obviously like not intended to be super visible. It's a dark purple set, so okay, understandable. So, yep, that's both looking perfectly fine. So, yeah, I guess we'll go to the stage then. Let's go ahead and get a good look at this. Yes, looking very nice. And of course the pickaxe as well. Giving it a good look. And of course, if I could just position myself like so. Yep, looking perfectly fine. But is that what you're personally going to root for? Are you looking forward to the idea of seeing some abyss stone tools? Or would you prefer something different? Maybe there's another set of stone tools that could be accepted as part of a collection. What is it? I don't know. I do remember some time back when I was initially making that Complete the Sets Candidates collection, I was trying to make sure I filled in something for every sort of item. But, yeah. Surely there's some other options out there now. Right, so, yep, that's looking perfectly fine. Let's now go ahead and showcase the next weapon/tool skin. Oh, alright, here we go. Let's adjust the time a little bit then. Let's make sure it's a little bit more brighter, because I think a lot of people are going to take a liking to this. I know for a fact people like the Cold Hunter collection. It's basically a weapon collection. And whilst this has transparency, it's not like Olympus. It's not like Odd Pirate Collection. Revolver, sorry. But this is more like the Heatseeker Revolver. So the two like bits to the side, they have been removed, but the big square portion still persists. And I think people would be fine with that. So if that were to be accepted, people would be happy. Another Cold Hunter weapon skin, but the previous two revolvers shouldn't be that affected because it doesn't have the exact same amount of transparency. So offer your opinion if you want. Let's give that a nice little reload. Now, with it being like an icy whitish sort of design, I'm expecting some good nightlight. Yeah, I can see that. Yep, I can see that perfectly fine. Yep. I even walk a little bit more forward because I know some people be like, you're too close to the stage. Well, look now. Yep. So, yeah. I think a lot of people take a liking to that. Feel free to offer your opinion. I know there's plenty more Revolver skins out there, but I thought this is probably a good representative of the Cold Hunter set, and it was a fairly recent submission as well. So, let's see if something like this could potentially be accepted in the upcoming Complete the Sets Restore for 2026. Get a good look at that. Nice. And ice. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Deep Sea. It does look cool. Ice cold. Next, what do we have? We have the Apocalypse Nomad SAR. And the point I was trying to get across earlier, in the past, the amount of transparency we see here on this SAR, that used to be absolutely amazing. I'm sure you remember the prices we were seeing for Imp SAR. Well, this is the exact same amount of transparency. But since then, Heatseeker, Hellcore, Twitch drops. Ow. So, I think it'd be perfectly fine and welcome. And I know a lot of you are going to sit there and say, well, it's a bit rusted, isn't it? It's not exactly super flashy and super, like, I'm going to say interesting. I don't want to sound mean, but this isn't intended to be super brand new and whatnot. It's supposed to be worn out and somewhat trashed. It's supposed to be in relation to the Nomad Hazmat. So, yeah, Wasteland Hazmat, is that what it's called? You know what? I've completely forgotten the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. So, yes, it's not supposed to be flashy. It is supposed to look this way. And chances are you're going to see skins like this being accepted in the upcoming Complete Sets. Because you should be expecting old skins. But I'm sure they'll sprinkle in some more recent collections. Let's just give this a good look at night time. That's not too bad. I can actually see that quite nicely. Yeah, I can see that vaguely. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's give that a nice little reload. Reload. Sorry. So, yeah. Times have changed. Power creep has slowly gotten a little bit worse, or better, however you might view it. So, cool. Let's now go over to here. Give that a nice inspection. Somewhat reflective, but not exactly super shiny. And, yeah, what do you reckon? Could we see something like this potentially being accepted? If there were another SAR out there, what would you prefer instead? Feel free to offer your opinion. And you know what? How about I go ahead and grab those bolt action rifles and give them all a good look right now. Alright, so first up, Pirate bolt action rifle. Honestly, I think this has got a pretty good shout. Pirate collection has proven to be very successful. Plenty of acceptances. Couldn't hurt for another weapon skin. Did we recently see the Pirate SKS? Yes, indeed we did, so okay. Maybe that's probably going to give it a good chance. We'll see. So let's go over to here. I'm going to aim down. And yep, that's a perfectly fine amount of red. So with that, let's give it a nice little reload. And of course, night time. So, do we see like the white outlines with the writing? Not really. Do I see the body of it? I can see it. It's not super clear, but I can see it. So, okay, fine, fair enough. And I know some people are also going to ask, hey, could we get a scope in it as well? Boom. Get a good look at it now. So, I mean, it's just the scope on top. It's not like it's completely changed, but yeah, that looks nice. What were you expecting? Oh, I wanted to see if it still had that nice useful red aim sight. Not anymore. Right, okay, so night time. Let's go over to here. Are you shiny? A little bit, but not really. So, okay, cool. What do you reckon then? Could we potentially see the Pirate bolt action rifle? Again, there's probably a lot more options out there, but it's not like the skin creators could go ahead and make a brand new batch of bolt action rifles. Like, I will sit here and say this, in the lead up to well, June, there was a lot more focus on auto turrets rather than bolt action rifle skins, which shouldn't be too surprising considering the very first electric furnace skin to be accepted did about 55,000 subscribers. How much do you reckon the first ever auto turret skin is going to sell? Consider that. So, alright, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we'll see if we get some pretty cool designs that were pulled back from the past. I think the collection continuations we have here are perfectly fine. Speaking of, I have a BARnana. I'm very proud to say that. Yes, the BARnana collection. It's always got that weird issue where if this were to be accepted, it's going to get called the BARnana. Okay, now that has to be accepted now. So, you know, MP5 Nana, AR Nana, but the BARnana. Oh, that has to be accepted now. It's just occurred to me that needs to be accepted. Face punch, the pun is too powerful. The pun is too powerful, alright? You can't say no to that. It has to be done. I'm not joking. It's literally just occurred to me. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Right, anyway, yellow. Yellow. Right, so that's looking pretty sweet. I should have shot and then not reloaded, so let's do that again. There you go. Cool. Right, sweet. So, yep, that's looking pretty sweet. And cool. Night time. It's all yellow. Is it super visible? I can see that a little bit better than the previous one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. And of course, some people are going to ask, where's the scope? Well. And there we are. If only it was yellow as well. Face punch has heard. Coming to a rust store near you. Customizable scopes. Get them in any colour you wish. $2.49. People buy that. People buy that. Alright, and yeah, give that a good look. Looking perfectly fine. And what were you expecting? So, cool. Let's now go over to here. Give it a nice little look. That is somewhat shiny. Somewhat. And then we'll strike a pose. Try and look pretty. BARnana. BARnana. Yes. It needs to happen. I need it. I want it. What's your opinion, though? Would you like to hold a destructive banana? Perfect comment below. And of course, we have another we got the Black Ops bolt action rifle. Give that a good look. Let's just adjust the time a little bit. Hold it like so. And let's get up nice and close. So, yeah. There's a lot of Black Ops skins that have been submitted over the past couple of years or so. But it has received a lot of acceptances. Of course, it's been recently dabbling into clothing and the armour. We'll see how much success we get with that. But it did start off as a weapon-only collection, and we did see a lot of very interesting designs being accepted. What's your opinion based on what we're looking at right here? So, yeah, not too bad. I aim down. Oh, okay then. So that's interesting. It's a transparent bolt-action rifle. Does it really make that much of a difference? Yes. Right, okay, fine. Yeah. Give that a nice little reload. Nighttime look. So it is a black weapon, so, well, the aim sight does stand out quite a bit. That's nice and visible. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Now, of course, let's go ahead and grab a scope. Alright. An interesting, stylish design. Nice and shiny. Get a good look at that. Alright then. Let's go ahead. Hold it in my hands. Yes. Cool. Cool. Right then, nighttime. Let's move over to here. And you might be wondering, oh, does it shine a lot? And oh, yeah, there you are. Yep. That is a shiny looking bolt action rifle. So let's strike a pose. And that's it in regards to the free bolt action rifles. I am aware there's quite a lot more out there. But I thought these were perfectly fine looking candidates. If you had to pick one, which one would it be? And if you've seen one yourself on the workshop that I didn't showcase right here, right now, comment below. Again, nothing is a guarantee. To be honest with you, at the end of the day, it's up to face punch. So, who knows what we're going to see, but I reckon with what we showcased, they're perfectly fine looking candidates. And so with that, let's go ahead and start showcasing some clothing and armour. Coincidentally, it's another Black Ops skin, yeah. So, not joking when I said we've been seeing quite a lot of success with this collection. It is a perfectly fine looking backpack. Quite shiny if I do say so myself. Yep, get a good look at that, get a good look at that. So do you reckon by the end of the year, we could probably have a full clothing and armour set for Black Ops? Keep an eye on the workshop. Right then, let's go ahead and look at this at night time. With the lights on nearby. And we do have to get this point across. Black Ops is a shiny collection. Might not be to everyone's personal taste. You know, we've seen like Black Diamond in the past and whatnot, so, yeah, right, fair enough. Maybe some of you are looking at it and thinking, wow, I can be super flashy and I can flex on all the people. Are you one of them? And just to also point this out, doesn't glow in the dark or anything. So yeah, that's a potential candidate that was voted for in the bingo. So, let's see if that's one of the brand new acceptances in the upcoming Complete the Sets Rush store. I was debating whether I should do the jacket and the boots and gloves separate, but then I was like, well, just get a full set out. Just get a full set out so we can get a good look at it as a whole. So let's just get up nice and close. Get a good look at those road sign gloves. Perfectly fine looking pair. Yes, indeed. And also, get a good look at the jacket. Yes. How many crocodiles did that take? Well then, it's just one big one. Right, so that honestly looks very, very nice. And I've said this in the past, I wasn't always super keen with the Reptile Hunter hoodie and pants. I mean, it's green enough, I guess you could say, but that does cover enough of it nicely. Usually with like the tier 2 and the tier 3 armor, that would completely cover it, wouldn't be that much of a problem. And it's not like you'd probably roam around with Reptile Hunter in an open field. If money was no issue, you'd use Forest Raiders, of course. But a lot of people were appreciating this as a budget green option. Now, of course, since then, we've had some cheaper and other interesting designs appear. especially with Reptile Hunter going up in price. If we're to see boots and gloves, or potentially a jacket being accepted, do you reckon we might see a spike in price? Might be pretty interesting to keep an eye out. Anyway, as I've already said, we did see the tactical gloves earlier this year. They did sell quite a lot, but at the moment there's a lot of people listing them, so it hasn't really got that much room to grow. But let me tell you, if we see some boots, like if they only accepted the boots, those tactical gloves would be happy. Maybe they'll only accept the road sign gloves. Imagine that. So overall, with what you see here, are you impressed? Do you like what you see? If I could also just get a little bit more closer, more straight. Night time, let's get a good look at that. As you notice, it is somewhat reflective. Not super in your face and whatnot, but there is some shine there. Just a bit. So, okay, cool. And does it glow in the dark at all? No, no concerns, no worries. That right there is a perfectly fine dark green collection. Perhaps the best option for those that like to roam around in the jungle. Right then, let's go ahead and showcase the next skins. Well, really what I should have said was skin, but I did bring out all of it, so yes. Specifically speaking, I'm talking about the jacket skin. And yeah, that's seamless. That Naval Camo jacket is seamless. Get a good look at that. So what do you reckon? Would that be a nice welcome addition to the Naval Camo collection? We have seen this come out quite nicely recently. As I've said, every single piece has been accepted. Now, again, it is like somewhat recent. You could still see this for June Forcewipe. That's the point I'm trying to get across. But it is still a perfectly fine candidate for complete the sets. Maybe they're holding back. I did say that when we saw like a bit of a quiet rust, or what was it? Not last week, the week before. You might recall which one it was. And I was like, guys, they could just be holding back. Was it cope? Well, I mean, with the current roster we have, it's been pretty good. Pretty good indeed. And if it's in the kick drops as well, oh yeah, we've got some pretty cool looking skins, haven't we? So, yep, that's perfectly fine. Nighttime, please. And, well, it likes to refer to itself as a camouflage set. It does have that special quality to it where it doesn't really reflect that much. You see that on Forest Raiders. You see that on Whitehouse. And you also see it here as well. So, yeah, what do you think? Are you a fan of what you see? Can you still see it now? Where did it go? Yeah, it doesn't glow in the dark, as you'll notice. Cool. Right then. So, you mentioned it's camouflage, did you? Yeah, bud. I'm super camouflaged. Now no one's going to spot me. And I'm definitely 100% going to do some very evil, wicked things now. Simply because nobody can spot me as I swim in the middle of the ocean. I'm super camouflaged. So amazingly camouflaged. Yes, 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 yes. No one can stop me. I'm original. Yeah. Am I the only one? Yeah. Thundergold's back. Alright. Sorry, Morphous. Anyway. Thundergold hoodie and pants. We have brought this up quite a lot. If you've watched the streams, you've definitely heard of this. We've mentioned it many times. Ever since we saw Thundergold Tier 2, we've just been itching and waiting for hoodie and pants to be accepted. You might recall we saw Tier 3, Tier 2, boots and gloves. Where's the hoodie and pants? Ask Face Punch. I'm pretty sure about 5 attempts have been made for this. And, well, they just didn't accept. Now, if they don't accept skins, does that count as denying skins? They didn't outright say no, but... So this is the most recent attempt, or attempts. We have 2 separate versions. To our left, we have Gold Streak. To our right, we have White Streak. And, well, let's just give them both a good look, because I guess you can sit there and say which one you happen to prefer. So Gold Streak. Thundergold. Personally, I think that's probably the better thematic choice. I mean, you know, it's got a match up to what the label is, I guess you could say. And when you look at like the boots and gloves here, take note, these are the tactical gloves, currently in the roster right now. We're questioning that might be a very nice investment because they're not selling too ridiculously. And here's the booties. Yes, some exquisite booties. All nice and tied up with some gold laces. Yes, yes. So, yeah. A perfectly fine hoodie and pants pairing right there. And, well, of course, here we mention it again. Of course, that'll be utilised as white camouflage. Have you seen the price of whiteout? Yeah. And it's not like comics hoodie and pants is getting any cheaper, is it? So, alright, fair enough then. So, speaking of, perhaps white streak would be preferred then. As you'll notice, it's somewhat more discreet. Are you a fan of what you see here? Let's go all the way around. Do take notice, that's the Thundergold Road Sun gloves. Both of the pants do happen to have some nice lightning bum pockets. How exquisite. Yes, that'll make you... I'm just going to move on. Anyway, yep, same boots though. Perfectly fine. But which would you prefer? I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. Nighttime, however, well, that's nice and shiny, isn't it? But do you want to be nice and shiny? I mean, there are people out there that do like to show off. Or they want to be seen. But the sweat probably doesn't want to be seen, do they? No, no. So, okay. Get a good look at that. And then we'll move over to here. Get a good look at this. It's obviously not reflective, or rather, not as reflective. You still have the other portions that are somewhat shiny. I don't think people are going to notice that from quite a distance away. No, well, I mean, in a snowy white biome. But yeah, honestly, overall, I'd be happy with either. For a very long time, all we saw were versions like this. But this is a more recent idea. The skin creators tried to do something different. And, well, it's up to Face Punch. Now, you can sit there and comment below right now, like, how happy would you be if you saw these being accepted? And it's not like it's the only white clothing we have in the workshop. I should point that out. But I'm not joking when I sit here and say we have been waiting and waiting and waiting and hoping and praying and begging and on our knees wishing to see some Thundergold hoodie and pants. Could now finally be the time. And if you were to pick one, which would you prefer? So, yeah. Is it going to happen this time or is it going to be sadness? Now, alternatively, we have Porcelain hoodie and pants. Now, as you might notice, I'm also wearing the Porcelain Road Sun gloves. The Porcelain booties. Yes, get a good look at that. Now, with the older designs, you might notice they do appear to be a little bit more blue. That's true. If I can recall, there's like a 5-year difference between like the gloves and the hoodie and pants here. And, of course, we have like the other pieces we'll showcase in a second. There is quite a big gap. Now, it's not like the skin creators never tried. This is the third attempt for the hoodie and pants here. Not sure what else they need to do, but get a good look at the art all around. You will be a walking tapestry. You will be art. Yes, look at that. What an exquisite looking design. Oh, yes. So, would you agree it looks predominantly white? And I wouldn't be surprised if people would be utilising it as such. Because again, whiteout hoodie and pants, they are pricey. And comics hoodie and pants, they're not getting any cheaper. Could it be Thundergold? Could it be Porcelain? Or could it be neither? Oh boy. Imagine how many people are going to be happy with that. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are very eager and hopeful that we could potentially see either of them. But what I should do now is quickly go ahead and put on the other pieces of armour. There we go. So, yeah. Blue. Quite blue indeed. So I'm not sure if that kind of puts a bit of a damper on your expectations. You don't have to use the Porcelain Tier 3 armour. You can always use something else. Yeah, it's nice and artistic. But with all due respect, I think they've improved their work over the years. I think that looks better. Not to sound mean, I mean, you know, years have passed, they've improved. So, okay, whatever. Let's just get a good look at this. So with the armour here, yeah, it's gold and it's somewhat shiny. I guess that'll stand out quite a bit, wouldn't it? And just to also point out, the armour, that doesn't glow in the dark. So, okay. Now I know some of you are probably thinking, can we get a quick look at this in the snow, just to see if it's alright? What I'll also go ahead and do is take off the armour as well in a bit afterwards, just to see the comparison. What do you reckon then? From this distance, are they easy to spot? Because with a bit of distance, I am kind of like blending in with the foliage there. More specifically, the chest plate. So as I get closer and closer, there you go. Right then. Well, I guess we could test out another spot as well. Because conveniently, we did have like the grass right next to it. So, let's change the scene. Okay, so get a good look at that now. I'll be honest with you, it's not that destructive. It's not that destructive. But I do think we should get a good look at this without the tier 3 armour on. So, let's go ahead and do just that. Right, there you go. Yeah, that doesn't look blue, does it? No, no. So imagine if you swapped out whiteout hoodie and pants with these, put it with whiteout armour if you wanted to. You'd probably save a few pennies if it were to be accepted. But of course, as you get closer and closer, now you start to notice the blue. Now, with all due respect, I should probably adjust the time as well a fair bit. Yeah, let's move that sun around. There you go. Come on, all the way around, don't be shy. Before the bears get to me. Come on, hurry up. Right. So, yeah, that's a bit more brighter. It's not like close to dusk or dawn. And, yeah, let's just pull away a bit more. Certainly isn't bad. I think a lot of people would welcome that. Are you one of them? Do you like what you see? Go on then. Have at it. Post all your comments. I know you're going to want to. It's all I've seen for the past year or so. It's been ridiculous. Surely now we could see Temple Tier 2 hoodie and pants or boots and gloves, right? Right? Surely now's the time, right? Well, maybe one more comment could do. So get a good look at that. It is a reasonable light green. Yeah, I guess you could say it's like a sort of grey. But, you know, pull back a distance away. That does a fairly decent job. I guess you could say this grass is a little dark green, but still that's good. Bit of shade, perfect. There's a reason why people have been asking. I will respect it. Now, just to point out, no glow. You can see that, right? Where am I? There I am. Yeah. I should have got closer. But yep, no glow here. So I already made like a bit of a fuss about this on stage in my update video for Complete the Sets 2026. But in some grass, I should agree. That right there is pretty special. But do you honestly think it'll happen? It'd be nice. In theory, yes, it'd make a lot of sales. But there's a lot of other skins out there where if Face Punch were to accept them, they probably would get ridiculous sales. Surely the answer is they're worried that if they add too many camouflage skins, people would complain. I roll with the belief that if you make it accessible to everybody, aka release perfectly fine alternative options at a reasonable price, well, people would be less inclined to complain. If they can afford it, people are happier. Right now, Forest Raiders as a set is probably pushing up to over $400 as a set. What? Yep. Oof. So, Tier 3 still holding up perfectly fine, even though we haven't had a sequel. But if that, if any of that were to be accepted, what do you reckon happens next? I'm sure you can figure that out. It would be nice. I would like to see it happen. I just have doubts. So, what do you reckon then? Do you like the Temple collection? Or would you prefer flashbacks? So I do have my frog booties on for this one. But yep. There's the hoodie and pants, which we already have. Right now, they're actually selling for quite a decent price. The hoodie was kind of ruined for a while. But 2 years later, it has recovered. Pants, oh, they're doing A-okay. But we have seen quite a few attempts now for the Tier 3. I think the Tier 2 was only done twice. So, honestly, would welcome it, Face Punch. Honestly, either Temple or Flashbacks. We're happy. This was mentioned quite a lot on the bingo cards. I have to showcase it, and I'm sure you can understand why. I know I did that little joke just a second ago, but that blended in perfectly with the grass, didn't it? I keep telling everybody, if you just want to save a decent bit of money from Forest Raiders, just swap out the hoodie and pants for flashbacks. So, yeah. A perfectly fine looking set of skins. Never saw some boots and gloves being submitted, unfortunately. But again, if we do get the surprise acceptance, I think you might see those boots and gloves eventually. As you'll notice, it's not very reflective at all. Nope. And that's exactly what we like to see. Other people might be pleased to notice that it does cover like the badges you see on the hoodie as well. So, it's all green. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people greatly appreciate that. Also, it doesn't glow in the dark. Which again, I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate. So, yeah. Honestly, it's probably a good question to ask. If you had to pick Temple or Flashbacks, which one would you prefer? Next up, Tier 3. Of course, with the rest of the set here. Wow. So, yeah, over the years, we've seen a lot of blackout alternative options. By that, I mean black clothing armor collections that have appeared after blackout. We have quite a lot. But unfortunately, we never completed Tire Collection. And I think a lot of people would appreciate if it was completed. Thing is, though, in comparison to the other clothing armor sets we've already showcased so far, if this were to appear, would that upset you? Or would you be like, okay, fair enough. Like, would you just be whelmed? You can offer your opinion, but yeah, honestly, it would be nice to see at least something actually being completed in regards to clothing and armor. And I am, fingers crossed, hoping to see at least hoodie and pants, Tier 2 and Tier 3. Not like for one set, but like 3 different collections being completed. It would be nice. It would be nice, I'm just saying. So, yeah. This is certainly a candidate for the Tier 3 slot. A perfectly fine looking black clothing and armor set. And if I recall, nighttime, it's not super reflective. It's a little bit, but it's not very reflective. And if I can recall, in comparison to blackout, yes, you might sit there and say, but it's got the stripes on it. Just a bit of a distance away, you don't notice it. In fact, let's pull back now. Yes. Do you see the stripes now? Do you see the stripes now? You don't. And I'm what? A good few steps away? Cool, how big are your steps? As I get closer and closer. Do you see this? Do you see them now? I vaguely see them on my leg, and now I see them on my chest now. So you only start to notice them properly around here. So I really wouldn't complain that much in regards to that. Tire collection. I mean, we got a jacket accepted, and yet still not the Tier 3 armor. Well, I wonder. If we were to see the Tier 3 being accepted, don't you think the other clothing armor pieces would greatly appreciate it? Let's see. Now, of course, Total Darkness. I mean, what are you expecting? Have you ever seen glow-in-the-dark tires? I mean, you probably have in certain cars, but actually, would that be road legal? Eh. So, alright, cool. So that could quite literally complete itself, but will it happen? Oh boy, my sleep paralysis demon's back. Yippee! Alternatively, based on what we just said in regards to the tire tier 3, we have seen a lot of instances in the past where simply a collection will just continue. Complete the sets could be swapped out and be continue the sets. Like I said, we do tend to see skin creators suddenly feeling super motivated to return to their collection and start making skins again for that collection. I mean, well, really? That's a big surprise. But you know what I'm saying? Like, something that's been quiet for a very long time might suddenly return, potentially get a lot more skins accepted afterwards. But this right here, this is active right now. If anything, I mean, it was quiet for about half a year, and then boom, suddenly over the past 2 months, 5 skins accepted. The face mask is still scary. I did question it with the skin creator. I guess it couldn't hurt for an alternate version where you don't have the eyes, just have the rosy cheeks and have the actual eye holes be the eyes. You could offer your opinion there. But yeah, that's incredibly goofy and incredibly silly. But you can't sit there and say people wouldn't buy it. You can't sit there and say people wouldn't dress up as that and door camp you. You know they would. You know they would, alright? Things are going to get very weird if that gets accepted. Anyway, so it was on the bingo cards. I'm sorry, but it was there, alright? I'm so sorry. But it's not just that, though, is it? There's the sheep metadubador, there's the electric furnace, and there's some interesting skins on the horizon as well. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So anyway. Cool. Doesn't glow, so alright, at least that, you know, that doesn't happen. But yep, that's pretty much everything. Out of my batch at the very least. There's still plenty more skins out there that you can consider, that you can write down yourself by commenting below. But with your wish list, is Popstar Tier 3 there? Or is it just tons upon tons upon tons of camouflage skins? I mean, come on, be real. You can't have all of it. So, maybe you'll see something like this. Or more specifically, maybe you'll see something that's submitted like 7 years ago, and, surprise, and, yeah. Alright then. Let's wrap that up. Lost my tongue. You know what? After all that yapping, to have only messed up right now, that's pretty good. Good job, Hedge. Right, anyway. Let's wrap up the video. I'd say the moral of the story is, don't walk into this expecting super amazing things. Every single camouflage skin you could wish for. No. Realistically, what you want to do is you want to go back to the past. So let's just go to here. August 2025, please. Complete the sets last year. We saw skins from 10 years before. We saw skins from like a year before, 3 years before. We even saw skins from like 6 years before. Looking at all these boots and gloves here, the gloves, that tier 3, is that super amazing to you? Realistically speaking, those boots did complete collections, and in instances with these gloves as well, yeah, they helped out. But maybe we're going to see that happen all over again. Maybe we could still see some interesting jackets. Hey, I'm just hoping for a decent amount of clothing armor. That's what I'm hoping for. So, yeah, learn from this, but also take into consideration there's a big rust door. So, we're probably going to see a lot. Hopefully. Right then, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just don't assume it's going to be everything you wished for. If it's just at least one thing, just be happy with that. That's probably a lot better than most. Okay, fair enough then. Right, so I should also point out tomorrow we have the abnormal barders, and yeah, we've got quite a lot to chase after. The skins haven't sold excessively. They've honestly sold just as much as what we're expecting. So that definitely makes things a lot more interesting there, right? So tomorrow, maybe about 9:30 UK time tomorrow, I will be looking at the skins, and we will be figuring out prices. Links are in the description for the socials. Now I should also point out kick drops. If you have not seen the doors, you need to see the doors right now. Consider watching this video, skip ahead to the chapters where I do comparisons with the doors. Sheep in the door, very, very interesting. Transparency all on the top there and here as well. So it's got head height transparency, but upper transparency. And you can utilize this in a very interesting way that I don't think any other door can. Watch and see. And with the sheep method of a door, you're telling me for free we're going to get a glow-in-the-dark transparent sheet method of a door. Yes. But how does it compare to recent sheet method of a doors that we got? I'm talking Junkanor. I'm talking what we saw back at Christmas, the gingerbread sheet method of a door. Both of those had transparency and glow-in-the-dark. Does that fare nicely against them? Well, one notable thing about that, it's absolutely free. So consider giving this a good watch. And if I could just quickly switch over to here. Yeah, kick.facepunch.com. It's all up now, so you can see that for yourself. You can see who you have to watch, and it's 2 hours each with free general drops. Cool. And that is taking place between the 11th of June to, I think, the 21st for most people. If you're in Europe, it'll be the 22nd. Basically, it's 10 days. So it should be hard to get all of these. Like, it really wouldn't surprise me if everybody here streams 24/7. That is to be expected. So, all right, cool. Perfect. Anything else that needs to be said? Not really. I mean, you can look at micro522.com just to see for yourself. Not too many people submitted. Like, I don't know some of these names. So, yeah. People weren't supposed to submit. So, yeah, there you go then. So, don't forget to comment below what you'd wish, absolutely adore to see, but, you know, we'll see if it actually happens. You could probably make a list of things you'd absolutely love to see, and then another list of what you realistically think we would see. Maybe that would be a little bit better. Okay, cool. And so that's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you got a good look at all these potential options. But again, it's primarily what my own server chose. I didn't want to pick myself, but I did have to pick a few more just to get some more interesting variety. And so that, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. Say goodbye.